Okay, so I have not sold on Whatnot for about 3 years, 3 years and a few months. The other day, my brother says, "Do you sell on Whatnot?" I said, "No, I don't really do it." And he goes, "Oh, well, my wife's friends are all on there." And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should revisit it. Well, I went on yesterday. I made about 190 bucks in 2 hours. I have an update on this. It was not that much. That was the revenue, but Whatnot charges you a transaction fee on every single transaction. They don't do bulk transactions if someone buys 15 things. And I guess that's because they want to keep the auction going, but that's a con, in my opinion. That's not like a con artist con, but like a pro and a con. Con, they charge transaction fees for every single transaction. They don't batch them up, which is more than I make selling cards on eBay. If you've watched the previous videos, it's about 15, 20 bucks an hour, and that's just not enough to justify doing it more than once a month, maybe, just as a hobby for fun. So I watched other Whatnot sellers, and they did it way different than me. So I've got a bunch of note card or sticky notes. I've got all my cards and top loaders and whatever these are called. There's some word for those that isn't top loader. And I think I'm going to try and sell on Whatnot every day, at least for a few days in a row, maybe for a week. Probably the title of the video will say what's going on. And I've done sports cards, I've done video games. I want to do some clothing I have laying around the warehouse, just like basically try and clear out a lot of the excess stuff that I've had since I've really, I don't think I'm going to sell postcards on Whatnot. Maybe that's great, maybe not. I like what I have with postcards in the warehouse with them organized and listed, but everything else, we're going to see if Whatnot is good for it, or if I can do it, because obviously some have success. Before I go live, I do want to show you just the basic supplies I have. This was $5 at Target. It's like a pistol grip, small tripod. I'll put the cards on this. This is probably not the best display for it, but it'll work. I've got 1 through 100 on sticky notes. If I can sell more than that, I'll just write the numbers on here as we go on. And then again, I don't know how many cards this is. I would guess maybe 300 cards, maybe. And if I could sell these all, if these would all get bids, so I'm going to do it just $1. If these all sell, that would be a really, I'd say that's a huge success. But I want to show you how it looks before, and then after I run the show, I'll tell you how long it lasted, and we'll go from there. Okay, I streamed for about 2 hours. I screwed up, and I didn't have letter shipping on the first hour, so that was not very successful. But I ended the show, did a new one, and I ended up making about 80 bucks the second hour. Again, that's 80 bucks revenue. Then there's Whatnot fees. Then there's that stupid transaction fee. So every card I sold for $1, I only got like 50 cents for. So really, it was more like 40 bucks. It's just the stuff I didn't realize until I looked at it a few days later. So I'll show you the damage of what's left over. This is how it looks now. Here's some of the cards I sold. Those are the other ones I sold. So probably, I'm not so mad about this. A lot of the cards just didn't sell. So I don't know if I'll try again tomorrow or if these should all just go in a big lot on eBay and I should cut my losses. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I will definitely update you guys tomorrow on what I decided to do, because I think I'm going to try out for a week. I'm gonna have to sell other stuff because these are the last of the cards I have, but we're definitely gonna make this work. Okay, it's Monday. I said I was gonna go live every day this week, and I'm already breaking that rule because it took me so long to ship these orders out. I screwed up. I didn't realize that one of the cards sold, and I didn't think it did. So my numbering system, I had these on all these. I thought I was so smart. It was wrong. So I had to go through and look at the freaking video receipts for all of these. So that took about an hour. I realized after I'd packed everything, I got to the last order, it was screwed up. So we're breaking my rules. I just don't have time to do it. So these are the kind of things that I was hesitant of, and unfortunately, most of the hours of my day are booked. So I guess I'll go tomorrow and I'm gonna try something else. But that's the update. Sorry that it's not what you wanted. We'll keep working at it, though. I'm sure by the end of the week, I will almost know what I'm doing. Okay, it's Tuesday. I ran another show for an hour. I ran actually 3 shows. The first 2 shows for 6 minutes each. No one cared about non-sports cards or postcards. I'm just kind of checking. And then football cards again. I boosted it for $15, and that was pretty. I mean, I made like 30 sales, but they were all dollar sales. So that's pretty much just like breaking even after the transaction costs and fees and everything. So I bought 200 cards off eBay in the mail, like 250 good low-level cards. So I'll run through those. We'll see what's happening. I've kind of noticed some people are showing up. Again, I've ran a few shows and I'm seeing a few more names. I don't know if they're regular shoppers or what. I have a feeling that after a week, it's not going to be worth it. I think I'm going to learn a lot, but I just don't think that I have the time to do this, even for an hour a day. It makes such a mess. Hopefully when I buy these cards, I can just do box to box where they're organized after I'm done, because right now it's just like all on my table and it's annoying to say the least. So I'm going to ship these out and we'll do a recap tomorrow. Hey, those aren't sports cards, those are DVDs. Well, yesterday I ran another sports cards auction. It was not good. I thought I'd get more cards today in the mail. They've been delayed. So I've got probably 100 DVDs here, maybe a 75 to 100. We're gonna try these, $1 a piece. A lot of them are Dollar Tree DVDs that I bought years ago and just never sold, and then put them on eBay and they didn't sell. So let's see if we can sell some of these for $1 a piece and get them out the door. I'm not seeing more people come to my auctions. I know it's only been a few days, but do I have to do this for a month? I can't do it for a month. That's too much work. It's not too much work. It's time I don't have. It's very easy to do this. It's just time consuming. So we'll try it. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll sell 1. Maybe I'll sell 0. We'll see. All right, ran the show for 30 minutes and I sold 2 DVDs for a grand total of like $1.16. What a horrible waste of my time. And this is the point of the video now where I'm going to start preempting some comments. You have to take more time to build an audience up to sell good on Whatnot. No, I'm looking for something that's better than eBay. Better than eBay, okay? Not something that I have to start all over from, spend a bunch of time on, and then whatever. Second thing, you're selling garbage. Yeah, I am selling low-value stuff, okay? That's what I have around here. Again, trying to find things that are better at liquidating than eBay. And that's simply not it. Is it fun to stream? Yes, I'm having a lot of fun talking on camera for a half hour. It's like live streaming on YouTube. That's fun. But in terms of, can you just pick up your phone, use Whatnot, and make $1,000 in a day profit selling stuff that, again, maybe if you stole a bunch of things, you could sell it for a profit. But like taking into account the cost of goods and my time, so far I'm not convinced that Whatnot is a place I can just hop on, and do well. I think that you have to have a schedule that you devote months or years to, and you develop followers that way you would on any other social media platform. And frankly, I'm not looking for that. You might be, but we're going from the perspective of Blake. How does this work for Blake? You should always be doing that. If you are trying to make money, from the perspective of you, does it match your lifestyle? Are you unemployed? Do you have access to lots of things that are worth money, but you're too lazy to list on eBay? Or there's too much of it and you're overwhelmed? Whatnot could be great. You could just stream all day. Do you have existing revenue streams? Whatnot is probably not going to surpass those unless your existing revenue streams very smoothly transition over to Whatnot. And the only thing I can think of in that case is like, are you an influencer who live streams or makes videos or whatever. You can bring an audience off of Instagram or YouTube or a Facebook group or wherever you're bringing them from. I don't think that's going to change. I think I will have a bit more success when I get the cards in whenever they come this week. But my prediction is I'll be making hardly any money at all, like per hour, when it comes down to profit. I also want to bring up that I'm not mad about this, okay? I'm not upset. I'm just seeing what's going on. I'll do a video comparing Whatnot to eBay after this. This is just a week of doing it to see what's going on. It's, I'm kind of like overplaying emotions for the sake of a video, but I really don't care. I'm fine spending a week of my time, a half hour here, an hour there doing this. It's been nice to nail down a way to ship things quickly. So who knows? Maybe things will turn around. All right, so I'm driving my warehouse to do one last auction. I bought a couple hundred cards, and we'll see if people care about those. It's really not that good. Really, like my experience with Whatnot, because I just got a message from a guy. I sold some video games, and he messaged me say, "Oh, 5 out of the 16 games I bought have issues with the seals on them, or there's damage to the whatever." These are games he bought for $1 that I showed on the video feed. There's a reason they're $1 games, and he's trying to get a refund. He goes, "Oh, you can just tip me $15, and I won't say anything else." And I'm just like, okay, I know that because I don't have a history on Whatnot, it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna just give someone money. That's insane. Like, if you want to return them, return them. He goes, "Oh, well, Whatnot's not letting me do that." And like, whatever, dude. Okay, not my problem. Again, I say this to everyone, and the advice holds true to me too. Cheap items get cheap customers, and you don't want cheap customers. It just is really reinforcing, like, I am not taking the experiment past 1 week. It's I didn't do it yesterday. I was too busy, or the day before. It just is complete. Every few months, or maybe every year or so, I get the idea, like, hey, maybe I should try Whatnot out again. Maybe that could be a good thing for me. But no, it just is always the same thing. Really shitty buyers, really low prices, kind of fun to do, but it's just the unless I'm getting inventory that's really expensive for free, eBay is always a better option for me, at least. So I'm going to try one last auction. I mean, maybe it's going to become a thing where I figure out a way to promote, because thinking about it, that was the best thing. Promoting my auction was by far the best decision I made. So maybe if I can get my hands on some really good stuff, like a couple thousand cards, I'll run a few auctions and promote them. Maybe that's the play. But just trying to do it the same way I do eBay and make money on the same items to make money on eBay is really, really not worth it. The advantages I have is that I've developed software to list things quickly. So I guess I got to hold on to them. I mean, that does kind of suck as opposed to the immediate payback of Whatnot. But if you guys have any, I mean, I don't even want to ask for advice, because your advice is not going to be applicable to me. But if you have any challenges you want me to do, like, oh, try buying these things and selling these things, I'll listen to that. But whenever I post these videos, there's always some really stupid 22-year-old who's like, well, I did this for 6 months and it worked out really well for me. And they were doing box breaks. They were getting stuff for absurdly cheap from their friends. So it's just like, if I can't make over $50 an hour doing live streams on Whatnot, then it's just really not worth it to me. And that's my, again, I'm open to having my mind changed, but for the time being, that's where I stand on it. So thank you for watching. If you bought anything from me on the off chance you saw me on Whatnot, I appreciate that. And I'll see you guys later.